could just look at them and compare these two lists. And so far for me, you're definitely more willing to be bullish on what we've seen this year, which is something that I'm usually behind on. Is I'm much more slow to react. I do have the Patriots on this list, but ultimately, I don't have them above like some of the teams that you have them above, and to put them as high as two, because what that would assume essentially is that by the end of this season, Drake May is going to hit a Josh Allen ceiling in year two, which right now is possible. I mean, Drake May is
Let me stop
doing.
you there.
Go ahead.
Let me just tell you what Drake May's season stats are. I
Yes.
think this will help. This will help put things into perspective for you with what he's doing. So right now, Drake May in 7 games has a 116.4 QBR. I think that's the best in football, and that's paired with a 75.2 completion percentage. On top of that, he takes care of the football. He has 12 passing touchdowns to two interceptions, and on top of that, he can run. He has 200 rushing yards already and 2 rushing touchdowns. So to me, he already is Josh Allen, and I think he is way more accurate than Josh Allen was in year two. Like he takes
Definitely.
better care of the football, and his deep ball is probably the prettiest in football right now. And he's only 23, so it's pretty insane to think about how we let the Patriots get this guy.
Yeah, let's not go back to, I know what you're gonna say. Let's not go there. But
We can easily go there. He could be a giant right now, but shout out Tommy DeVito.
shout out Tommy DeVito. That was a hype primetime game.
Shout
That
out Culture.
culture wins with Brian Dable. It's a great
Yeah.
pairing. But yeah, you've been very compelling to me about Drake May, and it's not like I didn't realize that he's been good, but you feed me these stats, and you put it into perspective with the fact that this team does have Mike Vrabel. I think a playoff winning head coach that truly is right on the same level to me as like a John Harbaugh at his best, right? And probably even better than John Harbaugh when you consider he's beat him once, a second time. He got the better of Vrabel, but the Ravens are a much more talented team, and I just think he's a galvanizer. You know, former player. This is where he played, and I think he's given it his best shot. Clearly, it's paying off. And you think about the Patriots team, you know, Vrabel is kind of a CEO, but I think he takes a larger hand in the defense. And I think that can carry them kind of the way he carried that Titans defense. That wasn't really like uber talented, but you have some interior rushers. You know, they signed from the Eagles on the inside. His name's
Milton,
Milton Williams. Yeah, clearly that's proving to be a very effective signing. I don't think he's Jeffrey Simmons, but it's the guy playing that role. And you know, you got Gonzalez, the number one corner. You got the rest of this front seven and the safeties playing well. And then on the offensive side, I think one thing that's kind of flying under the radar is something that I want to see from this Patriots team that I think can help them reach this level, because I'm not opposed to it happening. Like, believe me, I'm all for some shakeup in the NFL and some new elite level teams. And I think this team has the potential, but I think they really got to get these rookies involved, Travion Henderson, Kyle Williams in this offense, get them more snaps, and some, you know, Josh McDaniels, get some creative play calls to these guys, because Kyle Williams was at least Chris Sims was touting him as a top 5 wide receiver in this class. And I think we could clearly see he's got the talent, maybe because he plays sort of that Stephon Diggs role, that they're sort of, you know, slow playing it and maybe even saving him a little bit for later in the season. We see rookies break out later in the season. Same thing with Travion Henderson. I mean, I wasn't as high on him coming out as you were, and we've had this discussion before, but nonetheless, he's an explosive player, and Ramondre can do everything, but he's got a fumbling issue, and I just think having that change of pace
and
guy get in there, having all these weapons, and Drake May play well can sort of negate the biggest flaw on this team, which is the offensive line. They're playing okay right now. Will Campbell is a culture setter on that offensive line, and he's locking down that left side, but they are nonetheless talent deficient. Like a elite defensive line could really counteract this team, which is like a team like the Bills doesn't have that. Good reason why the Patriots won. But Chris Jones for the Chiefs, you know, in the AFC Championship, that would, if I had to guess why they lost, I'd say Chris Jones makes Drake May uncomfortable.
I can see that. But you were talking about, their loss to the Steelers, Ramondre Stevenson's two fumbles, and how his leash just seems endless with the Patriots, with what he is as a veteran. But that's one thing that Trayvon Henderson doesn't do. He holds on to the football, so it's really interesting to see how he can't get an opportunity. We saw him light up the preseason, and I think he could really take this team over the top as a rusher if given the opportunity. It's just unfortunate we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I fully agree. I really do. It's just someone
I don't
coming to.
I don't get what's going on with him. I can't. It's not a talent thing with him.
No, it's definitely not, and maybe it's sort of a schematic thing. They also haven't been blocking very well for these run plays, and Travion Henderson, as explosive as he is, a guy of his size, is not going to break NFL arm tackles. I don't believe so. If those holes are tight, it's going to be kind of obvious. I think at least not from like a limitation standpoint of Henderson exactly, but more so just like Henderson and like not great blocking means like it's probably a pitch or an outside zone play, a screen or a pass. And I think maybe they don't like giving that away. Whereas with Ramondre, they know for a fact that they can have him in on all three downs, and the defense isn't going to have a clue what they're doing. At least based on the who's in at running back. So maybe that's got something to do with it. But to me, Kyle Williams, there's no excuse for that. I mean, I think he should be the number 2 wide receiver. Booty, kind of as the perimeter deep threat. Diggs can play in the slot and on the outside, but I think you put Diggs in the slot, kind of like Houston did, and you have Kyle Williams as the outside as sort of your second option, but your number 1 positional wide receiver. I think this offense could take another step. So I know I have them much lower. The reason I have them lower is I'm talking about a lot of things that have to go properly in order for them to reach this. Drake May is
They're already doing it though.
they're already doing it. So I'm just slow playing it, whereas you are sort of calling your shot on them, which I respect. It's
I would
just,
say I would say they're doing all this without even hitting their potential. Like they have so much potential still to reach, and this is what we're seeing from them right now.
yeah,
If we get to see the development of Kyle Williams and if we get to see the development of Trayvon Henderson, like what is the ceiling for this Patriots team? I don't know if that's just a rookie thing and Josh McDaniels or what, but I would imagine, the second half of the season we're going to see more of those guys.
yeah. The upcoming schedule for the Patriots: Browns, Falcons, Buccaneers, Jets, and then. So, what do you think they go through that stretch? I'll take you through the whole schedule.
I think the Browns would be tough defensively. That's what they do, but their offense is so bad. That should be a W. I don't really want to give. I think another thing we should talk about is like a more interesting thing to talk about is do the Patriots have a legitimate chance to win the AFC? They have a legitimate chance to win the division. That's what I'm wondering.
Well, it's really just between them and the Bills. I think
Yes,
we know that for sure,
and they've already beat the Bills.
and they've already beaten the Bills. The Bills' schedule. Well, let's just see remaining strength of schedule.
I think it's funny we have the Josh Allen and his clone in the same division.
Yeah, and I think there really is something to the fact that Drake May is doing this in year 2 on the Patriots, which the Bills were not some great franchise before.
But it took a lot of time.
Yeah, but they were on their way. Tyrod Taylor got to the playoffs on that team, but
There was a salty Bills fan I was
oh
talking to earlier who can't stand what we were talking about with the Patriots.
yeah, he's because Bills fans have been comfortable in this soft division, and as much as I've been rooting for them in the playoffs, to me it is kind of aggravating that they basically have 6 wins chalked up every year, and they
Yeah.
should win the 1 seed every season. And one of those home field advantage seasons should give them an advantage over the Chiefs, but it hasn't happened. But I kind of already knew this, and I don't know how it escaped me. The Patriots have the easiest schedule; they have the easiest remaining strength of schedule. So I don't know what the Bills is, but this Patriots team should be able to finish out the season. I mean, I'll just list off the teams: Browns, Falcons, Bucks, Jets, Bengals, Giants, Bills again, Ravens. That's the tough stretch right there, and then Jets, Dolphins to finish out the year. I see 4 competitive games in there that they like theoretically shouldn't be favored in. Doesn't even mean they shouldn't win. Like
If
maybe
they can go 2-2 in that schedule, finish, what is it, 13, 14, and 3, then what does this conversation turn into? Is Drake May MVP?
Yeah, they have 2 losses right now. So if they lose to, let's just assume they lose, they split with the Bills, and then they lose to the Ravens because the Ravens will be fully healthy, and then they lose one of the Falcons or Buccaneers. That's 3 losses on top of the 2. They'll be 11-5. I think that's probably the most realistic outcome for this Patriots team if you're going to play the upside case. And the Bills right now, their strength of schedule is going to be tougher than this. I don't. It'll be close. I think it'll be really close. I think is the fairest takeaway is that if anyone's writing off the idea that the Patriots can take this division from the Bills, I think that is foolish. I think this is very
Look
close.
in the mirror.
Look in the yeah. Look at what could happen, right? All right. I think